part of the work of racial justice, unlearning the patterns that have been ingrained in us that are part of our oppressive society, is that we kind of cut ourselves off at the heads a lot, especially those of us who are white, but any of us who have lived in this society and have kind of ingrained that message that we're not supposed to feel. And so the art moves our conversation from our head to our heart, because art is a space you could let your heart speak visually, because the heart doesn't speak in words, the heart speaks in whole patterns. My name is LJ Boswell. I'm a Quaker, longtime Quaker, very involved in our racial justice piece of transforming our community at the New England Yearly Meeting level. And I'm also a spiritual director and a trained interfaith chaplain. My previous career was as an educator. This offering of HeArt-Filled racial justice really is a culmination of all those different parts of my skill sets and trainings, and I'm delighted to be offering it.
LJ is patient, open, and I mean open, is very good at facilitating the conversation and giving space during the group for either silence or response. And I think that also comes from what I learned a lot about was this like Quaker methodology, which is integrated into the workshop. And that was really rich for it because you had to be a very good listener. And LJ is an incredible listener. There's no judgment during the workshop. So if people fear that, they should not.
This is a sample of one of my art journaling, my own journal drawings after a guided meditation about our family of origin and so this is my neighborhood, and this was my house because I had two siblings who were adopted and are people of color. And it was a white neighborhood, and drawing this, I've lived with that experience my whole life and known and talked about it, but drawing it gave it a different kind of release and a different kind of communication tool. And then sharing it with the other people in the group. I think every time we share some of our pain with others, we heal a little bit more. It's that simple. It really is. It's that simple. And that's the kind of space I'm hoping to provide.
My favorite activities that we started with, but then almost ended with, was, which I had never experienced before either, was this method of journaling that asks you to reflect on one moment in your past and inhabit it, and then your current self approaches and meets that person. And then you can take yourself through this narrative. So I remember that every class.
Some people see HeArt journaling and think that it's for artists, and really this is for everybody. It's not about the art being the product, it's art as process. So it doesn't matter what it looks like. It matters, the process of creating and reflecting is what's important. I find that non-artists quickly learn that it's a safe place to share their work and its deeper meaning to them. I'm quoting a former student who says the wisdom accessed there is priceless for a non-artist, and she was a non-artist, like surprised at how much she got from it.
Even if it makes you uncomfortable, that it's really important to instill forms of critical self-reflection into your life, whether that's once a week through the course 2 or 3 times a week, however else you do that. But it's also a good way to be involved in community.
It's a co-creative collective experience. And it gently invites shifts in perspectives. There's no like curriculum where you need to learn a certain thing. Because it's open-hearted and open-ended, really, I think the main thing I hope everybody gets out of it is understanding their own story in relationship to all of our stories, and how each one of our individual stories is part of the whole. And that there's such a relief in that. And there's such a power in that. It's like, that's part of the unlearning of the messages of oppression that we learn, that we're individuals, that anything that we're experiencing, others are not. We're alone in our stories. And there's shame and guilt and fear and powerlessness that comes with all of that. And so when we're able to share openly and be witnessed deeply and do the same for others, that's the power of undoing those messages of, you're not in it alone and this isn't your fault, no matter who you are. If you're, a white person or a person of color, a BIPOC person, we're in this system. And exploring our stories together helps us see that and helps us. So it's freeing. It's freeing in a way to understand that in a really not intellectual way, but in a heart-centered, deeply felt, intuitive way.